Yo, as always, like, share, subscribe. Now let's just get into it. So, Michigan will play Texas in the Big House this Saturday, 12 o'clock. I believe it's on Fox. And this is a game we've all been waiting for. And, Michigan is looking like, most of us are looking like, okay, Michigan's quarterback on offense, what's the deal? So let's just get into this. So Texas beat Colorado State 52-0, and they looked pretty good for the most part. But I mean, it was Colorado State, and I know somebody's gonna say, "Well, y'all played Fresno State." Well, most people would say Fresno State's a better team than Colorado State, but it's neither here nor there. Both teams have to play each other. We about to find out. So with that being said, Texas is coming in with Quinn Ewers, Sarkisian. They're a passing offense, really. That's what they want to do. But the thing about that, they still have good. They lost a couple running backs, but they still have some pretty good backs that are capable. Gibson and Blue. Gibson had 10 carries for 67 yards and a TD last week. Blue had 11 carries, 57 yards, 5.2 yards a carry. They both were above five yards a carry, so which is good. So, but with Texas coming in, we'll start with the defense. Michigan, for one, Texas has a lot of speed. They have speed at running back, speed at receiver with Isaiah Bond, Golden, and all these dudes. Wingo. You need these. So the big thing is, same when we played Ohio State, same when we played Washington. The big thing on defense is tackling. You have to tackle these guys. You can't let them get the big chunk plays that go for touchdowns. You can't do that because the offense gets momentum that way. First thing we want to do, shut down their run game. Shut down their run game, make them be one-dimensional. That's goal number one. Make them be one-dimensional. Make Quinn Ewers have to be great. That's what you want to do first. Also, you don't want to give up that touchdown play like I was saying. You don't want to give up long touchdown plays. You don't want to give up the 50-yard bomb. You don't want to give up the 40-yard bomb or 60 yards. You have to tackle, whether they're running screens or a guy catches a pass. You have to make the tackle and force them to slowly matriculate down the field. The more plays they have to run and matriculate down the field slowly, the more antsy Sarkisian can get, and that gives the defense more chances to get them off the field. So the big thing with the defense, you want to make them, they can drive the field, but if they get in the red zone, you hold them to 3. So you're eating up a lot of yardage, 20-20, but then you're settling for 3 points. That's a win for the defense. Now, if they're matriculating the ball down the field and then they're punching it in for 7 or 6, that's a win for Texas. You get what I'm saying? So that's the big thing. You want to tackle. I'm looking to see how Will Johnson does against some of their receivers. He was a little rusty. It seemed like, against Fresno State, and also they were, Wink was doing a lot of rotation with the corners like I spoke on in my post-game analysis. You're doing a lot of that. This ain't the game to be doing that. I hope you're not planning on doing that, rotating corners like that. You get your top 3, you get your top 2 or 3, and they play. That's what it is now. So I hope you're done with that at corner. Now you can rotate safeties and your D linemen and those guys, of course, but corners, there's usually a big drop off from your third corner to your second corner. There's usually a big drop off, and it looks like it's that way. You know what I'm saying? Or with your third to fourth corner. There's usually a big drop-off, and those guys are only on the field if they have to be in big-time games. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Um, I'm interested to see how Wink calls the game with the blitz packages. Is he going to be bringing pressure a lot, or is he going to be disguising the pressure and bluffing blitzes and things like that? The goal is to make Quinn Ewers confused, because I'm also interested to see, can we get pressure with 4? If we can get pressure with Josiah Stewart, Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, and Derek Moore, I'd be bluffing blitzes. I'd be bluffing a lot of blitzes, bringing that corner blitz here and there, but I'd be bluffing them. I can get there with 4. I'm about to get there with 4. You get what I'm saying? So that's my thought process. And last thing on the defense, don't run that zero blitz. Don't run it. There's no reason to be running zero blitz with that defense. There's just not. I don't want to hear no excuses for it. Don't do it. Don't you run that zero blitz, boy. Don't you do it. There's no reason for it. If there was a reason for it, I'd understand. There's not. You have a loaded defense. You got two good edge rushers. You got probably the best 2D tackles in the country. Why are you zero blitzing? You ain't got to do that. So I wish you would delete that out your playbook, exit out, cut it out, throw it away. You need to get that out your head until you move on. Or at least for this year with the defense, you need to get rid of that. I'm sorry. But that's it right there for the most part. You want to stop the run, make Quinn Ewers beat them. Make sure you're sure tackling, getting off blocks when they do those screens, and bending but don't breaking, making them kick field goals. When they do actually matriculate or get a big play and get in the red zone, make them kick 3. Or make them do something they don't want to do and go for it on 4th, and then you get nothing. So that's that for the offense now. For Michigan's defense against Texas offense. Now let's get into this. Michigan's offense against Texas's defense. Now, Texas's defense, last year their secondary was garbage. Colorado State, I saw their secondary making some plays, but it was Colorado State, But, hey, you making plays. So I got to take that into account. But Michigan, you have to be able to establish the run. You have to. But not only that, and we know the game plan was vanilla for Fresno State. We all know this. So what you want to do, and what I'm expecting to see, is more eye candy, more motion, more changing formations after Texas gets set. Then Michigan changes the formation, moves a guy in motion, things like that, to create confusion and to also create more separation on these different types of plays, and to get Michigan's offense in advantage. You get what I'm saying? So they can't react. They've already got set, and then you bring a guy in motion or change the play, honestly. But what is it? The quarterbacks. Now, Texas is going to have 8 in the box. They're going to have 8 in the box. Now, some people say, you can't run play action. You can't run play action until you establish the run. For a normal team, that would be true. But Michigan has built up years of establishing the run. Michigan has built up years of having a run identity. So you don't have to establish the run to play action, because you've already got 8 guys in the box. What you think all them dudes doing in the box? They're preparing for the run. So I can play action them right off the jump. I don't have to wait. You don't have to wait when there's already 8 in the box from the beginning of the game. What you think they're in the box for? They're coming for the run. Run that play action right off the bat. That's how you get them out the box from the bat. You get what I'm saying? So some of this stuff, people say it doesn't make sense for a team that's known for establishing the run off the top. So I'd like to see them come out from the jump, play action, with the play action, because Texas is going to have those guys in the box. They're going to be saying, Davis Warren, you can't beat us. Alex Orji, you can't beat us with your arm. We got all these guys in the box, and I say both of them because both of these dudes are going to play. You get what I'm saying? So that's the big thing. Now, I'm not saying we're not going to try to establish the run. We are. Of course, we have to, because what Davis Warren showed, he's the starter. What he showed is he's locking on one receiver. He's locking on that first read. So to make his life easier, I would try to play action and come with some heavy motion, jet sweep motion, play action right off the jump to get these guys to, let me calm down, and which in turn gets them to start second guessing themselves on their run fits. You get what I'm saying? So that's what I would do. And to help the run game with Warren in there, I would be bringing a lot of motion and jet sweeps and things like that, eye candy, to help the run game when Warren is in there. You get what I'm saying? Because if Orji is in there, you're running the read. So they got to account for him. They got to account for Orji keeping it. So that helps the run game. But when Warren is in there, they're not really scared of him keeping it on a read. So you need more eye candy. You need more eye candy and things like that to get the defense's eyes going somewhere else, and then you hand it to Donovan on the read, hand it to Mullins on the read, but they still have to account for that motion guy, that jet sweep guy, if you get what I'm saying. So Michigan, from what we saw, the defense is going to have to clamp. Defense is going to have to put the clamps. You want me to use the clamps? Yes. We need you to use the clamps, to keep this game in probably the lower 20s, probably the low 20s. You get what I'm saying? If it gets higher than that, Michigan's chances, I don't think they're going to be that good unless Texas defense just gets destroyed somehow, which I'm not expecting to see that, honestly. You know what I'm saying? So the defense is going to have to clamp up. They're going to have to clamp up, and you can't be having big mistakes like that, like running that zero. You have to clamp up and hold these guys to 3 and no touchdowns. You want them frustrated from kicking field goals and where they get too antsy, where, okay, we got to try to go for it, and then they get nothing. You know what I'm saying? Now, the good thing is for Michigan, I know people say I didn't talk about the kicker. Our kicker, he's good. I mean, what can we say? He's good. He's great. But the problem is you don't want your best offensive weapon to be a kicker. That ain't what you want, and that's what it looked like. So, yes, we had a good kicker, but with all the other stuff that was going on with the offense, I didn't want that to be the best thing. We got other problems, but it is good and great to have a good kicker. So he's solid. So that's great. I saw some people talking about the receivers. To me, the receivers weren't the problem for the most part. Yeah, they dropped a few passes. You're always going to have some games where receivers drop a few passes. That the receivers were fine to me. The big problem was Davis Warren not reading the field. That was the big problem. You know what I'm saying? So not only that, Kirk Campbell, I'm looking at you. I'm watching you to see what exactly is your plan for these quarterbacks. If the offense gets real stagnant, I'm not ashamed. I'm not against you letting Orji have a series. If the starter's not giving you anything for 4 and 5 drives, I don't have a problem with you putting Orji in, since you're playing him anyway, and seeing if he can make something happen. I don't have a problem with that. You can't be stubborn on I picked Davis Warren, I got to ride or die with him. You're playing Orji anyway. Orji might be able to just move the ball with his legs consistently because he adds on to the run game. You get what I'm saying? And then you can do some things off of that, you know. So I think people are getting into that orgy, throwing that one pass into the dirt like he just can't throw any passes. And I don't think that's the case, you know. But we'll see how the game plays out. But I need to see a real cohesive plan for what you're doing with these dudes. Against Fresno, it didn't look like you knew what you were doing. I'm going to keep it 100. It didn't look like you knew what you were doing. All right, Davis Warren has done nothing for pretty much the whole first half, but you're still bringing in Orgy for a play, Davis Warren for 2 plays, Orgy for another play, Davis Warren for 3 plays, Orgy for a play, Davis Warren for a play, Orgy back in. What are you doing? You look like you don't know what you're doing. That's what it looked like. And people, I hate to get on this. People with they're the coaches. They know what to do. They know better than us. Coaches are human. I hate to break it to people. This ain't a video game. Coaches are human. Coaches have their favorite players. Coaches are stubborn. Coaches do things like not notice they got 10 guys in the game. Coaches do things like not taking a knee when you can easily run out the clock. Coaches do dumb stuff all the time. I don't buy into this. You got to, they're the coaches. They know the best. I don't buy into that. I almost had a few heart attacks living through the Don Brown years. You talking about the coaches know best. Do they? They don't always know best, you know. Not to say nobody does, but coaches ain't above being criticized for what they're doing. Sometimes the coaches is messing up. I hate to break it to you. Sometimes they messing up. And we saw that with Don Brown. Matt Weiss. Was he good? He wasn't. I'm sorry. He wasn't. With his red zone offense, it was boo-boo. We couldn't score in the red zone that year. It just so happened he didn't get fired because of that. He got fired because he did computer crimes. You know what I'm saying? So people with this, we have to trust the coaches. No, I don't, and I won't until a coach has to prove themselves. You have to prove yourself to me. The same way Orgy has to prove himself. The same way Davis Warren. The same way them players that we criticize have to prove themselves. Coaches, they got to prove themselves too. Just because you have been a coach, that don't mean you don't get critiqued. I'm watching you. Wink, if you zero blitzing, I'm watching. I'm going to be criticizing. You're not above it. Kirk Campbell, you're not above it. I'm watching you. What's your plan for these quarterbacks? Sharon, I'm watching. Because I know you're an offensive guy. So if Kirk Campbell is this Kirk Campbell's plan or is this your plan? It don't matter. Either way, I'm watching. I got my eye on both of y'all. What is going on? I need to see, if you're going to do the 2 quarterback thing, I need to see some cohesive. And if one of them is has the offense stagnant, put the other dude in. You act like they was going neck and neck for most of camp. Or Orgy was in the lead and then it was neck and neck. Let's see it. That means it was close. Because they both do 2 different things. That's just my opinion on it. Ain't nobody above reproach. All them years with Don Brown, like, come on. I told people 2017, 28, I think it was 2018, I said he needs to be fired. Halfway through 2018, I realized he needed to be gone. And we still had to sit through 2 Ohio State games of him getting destroyed and the 2020 season. Come on. I want to hear the coaches, eventually they got fired. Well, eventually, you know how many wins we could have had talking about some eventually. I don't want to hear no eventually. I want to hear some good. I want to see some, I know what I'm doing. I get paid to do this. So I'm doing it well. That's what I want to see. I'm on the Amazing Blue channel late last night, and he was talking about the coaches, they know best, all that, and I don't want to hear that. If you know best, let me see the best. I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want to, the same way coaches don't want to hear excuses from players. I don't want to hear no excuses for the coaches. I don't want to hear it. I do not want to hear it. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear no excuses for it. Have a plan and understand what you're trying to do. Because you're looking lost. Right now you're looking lost. Right now you're looking lost. Like you don't have a cohesive plan. So, because practice ain't the game. Practice ain't the game. But I'm holding dudes accountable. The game's being played now. We didn't get no intel out of camp. Evaluation has begun for everybody. It has begun. So I'm evaluating defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, head coach, and all the players. You're getting evaluated over here. Ain't no free passes over here. I'm sorry. I'm evaluating all these dudes. So that's the thing. I know I done went on a rant, but Michigan's defense has to play lockdown and to keep this close so the offense can hopefully find a mojo. Hopefully Donovan can get going. And you have to find a way to get Donovan going, though. You have to understand what he does well. You understand what Donovan does well, he can do something. But if you're not understanding how to use him correctly, it's going to be a problem. Now, you can run Mullins, but you can run Mullins the same way you did last game. But have a cohesive idea for how to use each one of these guys. Donovan's been around for a long time. This shouldn't be a question on how to use him right. I don't care if you use him in the pass game or actual running back screens and things like that, but he's one of your most explosive players. You have to figure out a way to get him the ball. You get what I'm saying? So that's just it right there. But I'm hoping Michigan can pull this one out. You know I don't do scores and stuff like that, really. That's not what I do. I just talk about what I think. But I'm hoping Michigan can keep the score low, keep it low scoring to give their offense a chance to win the game. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't say they're going to be the offense is going to be clicking. I got to see that. I got to see that first. But I know that defense can click. So we need y'all to hold it down and lock them down. We might need a you get nothing half. Give me a you get nothing game. Put some fear in everybody. That's what I like. And that's what we might need. So that's all I got for this one, y'all. I know I got on a little rant, but hey, it has to be said, It has to be said. But like, share, subscribe, and as always, go blue.